Right, welcome back to another episode of the Research Platform, the space where we discuss all things related to research, particularly research from the global south, research that takes Africa to the center stage, research that is aimed at restoring Africa's greatness. This is the Research Platform. My name is Professor Angelo Tube, and I'm your host on this channel. Today we have a guest from Johannesburg, a place called Diepsloot. Itumeleng, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah. Would you want to tell our audience about yourself, who Itumeleng is, what makes her tick, and stuff like that?
Okay. My name is Itumeleng. I am an 18-year-old author, published author, a poet, and a future filmmaker.
Quite interesting. All right, Itumeleng, that's good to hear. I know women don't like their ages being discussed, but you volunteered yours. 18 years old, very, very young. Africa is rising. When the youth are standing up and are doing great things, it means the continent is rising. It means Africa is claiming its rightful place in the globe as a center of knowledge. You come from Diepsloot. Tell us a little bit about that space.
So, Diepsloot is described in the media. I made a research. So, Diepsloot is described as a place of terror and fear for young people and old people, and I actually agree with that. So, Diepsloot is a place of terror and fear, but it has its own times, depending on times. There are times whereby Diepsloot is safe, there are times where you will love it, and there are times where you will hate it. So Diepsloot is different based on times and also based on the kind of a person you are living in Diepsloot.
But it has produced you.
Yes,
You're
has
born and bred.
Definitely,
yes.
Yes.
You grew up there, and you are what you are today because the rough side of Diepsloot and the good side of Diepsloot shaped you into the phenomenal woman that you're becoming. That's wonderful. Look, we invited you to the platform today because it's a research platform. And we're all about producing knowledge. We're all about creating new things for the continent of Africa by Africans, for Africans. Although we've been talking mostly on academic research and stuff like that, but we acknowledge that even what you are engaged in is a form of research because you're producing new knowledge. Because before you could do what you did here, you had to do some research, you had to dig.
Yes.
Although it's mostly your experiences, but even that is a form of research, because you're producing knowledge based on what you experienced, which is why we believe you fit in what we're doing here today. Thank you for taking our invite. Now, I will quickly jump into what has brought us together. This product right here, written by Itumeleng back then when she was still 17 years old. Yeah.
Yes.
My goodness, tell us a little bit about this.
Okay, so this book is titled Trouble in Diepsloot. I started writing the book when I was 15 years old. So what I did, I looked at Diepsloot, I looked at my background and thought something needs to be written about this. So I made a research on what I could write about Diepsloot. What is it that I could write about it? And I've realized that there are less good things to write and more bad things to write about Diepsloot. Then I went to make a research through internet. I found newspaper articles and magazines articles, and also searched on the televisions, the SABC, ENCA. Then I came across some videos and some articles where they show some videos of different bad events happening in Diepsloot, and most of them are those that I have experienced in Diepsloot. So I've brought all of them together and made it one story, Trouble in Diepsloot.
Trouble in Diepsloot. So
Yes.
that is what informed the title of your book.
Yes.
You were writing about the tumultuous times, the chaotic times that you experienced there as a 15-year-old.
Yes.
What was it like for you as a 15-year-old, experiencing those things? Do you ever think that, one day you would be sitting here and discussing a published piece of work by your hands? I mean, as a 15-year-old, did you have hope, if I may put it that way?
Well, as a 15-year-old, I'd like to believe that I'm different from many other young people from where I come from. So I believe that I I have a very bright future ahead of me. I set my goals and make sure that I achieve them. So I would like to say I'm very much separated from them because I'm looking forward to the future. So as a 15-year-old coming to write the book, I've realized that many of the things about Diepsloot were written by the media. So nobody from Diepsloot ever wrote something about Diepsloot. So it was always the media, and those media are people who come from far away from Diepsloot, are not people who stay in Diepsloot. So I wanted to be that one Diepsloot citizen who says, whoa guys, wait, here is the story, here is what is happening. Because I've realized that in most cases the media would come in, for example, let's say there's a strike. So the media would actually come in the middle of the strike and report that there's a strike in Diepsloot, the people are burning tires. They do not want to understand why are we striking, how the strike began, and what is the way forward. So I tell it as a Diepsloot citizen that this is how the strike began. This is why we are striking. This is why we are burning tires. So I tell it that way.
So it was more of bringing out the lived experience rather than someone telling your story the way they think they understand it.
Yes.
You were coming out and saying, I am a daughter of the soil, a daughter of Diepsloot. This is my experience. I have, been through it. I'm telling my lived experience.
Yes.
It's not hearsay. It's not observation from a distance, but it's me being in the mix of things and then telling it like it is. All right. So how was the whole process of, the highs and lows of writing this book?
Well, I'm writing it. It was a very great process because I was looking into the future when writing, and I was like, okay, I'm writing it now, and in the future it's going to be like this. It will be one of the most loved books. It will be one of the most selling books. And while writing it, in 2018, yes, in 2018, I gave up on it for about 6 months because I thought this is only highlighting the bad stuff about Diepsloot. So maybe I'm mocking my township. People would have a very bad reaction about it. So I stopped for that moment for about 6 months. So after that 6 months I stopped, I went back again into the computer and searched through I was looking at my craft actually. Then I came across Trouble in Diepsloot. I read it from chapter 1. I was on chapter 6 when I gave up. I read it from chapter 1 till chapter 6, and I was like, no, Itumeleng, no, you can't.
Yeah, you have to revive this.
Yes, I stood up, dusted myself, and went on with the work. And in 2019, it got published.
Yeah, I am looking here at chapter 5 of the book. Yizo at schools. And it's taking me a few years back to that drama that used to play on SABC, Yizo, and it really portrayed something totally chaotic in our schools. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? What inspired that chapter and stuff like that?
Okay, so what inspired that chapter is what I have seen in other schools around my township. So the school I went to isn't around my township, but we have so many people coming from Diepsloot going to that school. It's Kwenamalapo Comprehensive Farm School. So just a school there alone in the farms. So we do not have such things because the school is well monitored and we also have security. But the stories I have heard from other schools, because I had friends from other schools who would tell me that there are some group of gangs around the school and outside the school. So the Yizo in schools is actually based on the gangsterism in young boys and old boys. So in the book there's a group of young boys that go around causing trouble in the streets of Diepsloot. They go around causing trouble even in schools. So that group of young boys, they're always wanted by the police. So each and every day, a week wouldn't pass without a police van coming in and the police officer coming in saying, "Yeah, we heard that your group did this and that." So it is all about that. It's the Yizo in school. They cause chaos. So I'll tell you about the gangsterisms in Diepsloot.
Yeah.
So those gangster groups actually made of young boys as young as 10 years old.
Wow.
And most of them are led by older men. So a group I know, which I wouldn't name, they have children from primary school, they have others in high school, they have others who are school dropouts, others are done with school, are old, and their leader is someone who was once in prison and that person is out now. So that person doesn't actually go around committing crimes. That person commands them to say, go there and do this, go there and yes. So it's like that in Diepsloot.
Okay. So yeah. Oof. That is why we need African stories or African knowledge on African issues to be written by Africans, because they're deeper. You engage with them differently when they come from those who have a lived experience of the space that they're writing about. Now, any positives that are in this book about Diepsloot?
Yo, in the book, there are no positives.
Not in the book. Okay.
Yes, not in the book. But I think the one positive thing would be the character going to school despite everything happening in Diepsloot.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it will be about those young people who go to school and decide not to give up on their dreams. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one positive thing.
All right. No, I see, because you are mainly bringing out, just how tough life is there. And,
yes.
How much young people have to sacrifice to survive life in Diepsloot. Hence the title, Trouble in Diepsloot.
Yes.
So it makes sense that you have to read through all the negatives and the hardships to actually see the positive. And I would venture to say that one of the positives that you are sitting here right now and discussing this collection of experiences that you have published, that in itself is a positive.
Yes.
Especially it's coming from a girl child and it's coming from a young person. It's coming from an African person. It is indeed to be commended, because Africa is rising. Africa is reclaiming its space. You said you are writing another book.
Yes.
Are you comfortable telling us about that?
Yes, I am. So as a young person and also as a girl child, I've decided that I'll use my talent of writing to actually inform the world and to make sure that in everything that I write, everyone has something to learn. So the book I'm writing right now, it is called Leto la Mafelelo. It is written in Sepedi, but in the future I'll make sure that I have it translated in all the African languages.
Okay.
And also in English. So Leto la Mafelelo is based on gender-based violence, where a woman gets married to a man who later mistreats her, and then at the end, not actually at the end, but they get into a fight in the marriage, and then accidentally the woman killed that man, and the police come and arrest the woman, and the woman commits suicide in prison.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
in this book, many people will have, I believe that everyone will have something to learn. The young girls or women will learn that the first time a man lays his hand on you should be the last time he sees you. And young men will learn that hands off our women. And the elders will learn that if a girl child is coming home from a failed marriage, they should not chase her away to say, no, go back and fix things. Yes, some things cannot be fixed. So it is better to have your daughter coming back from a failed marriage than having him come back as a corpse.
Yeah. Better alive than in a body bag.
Yes.
Sure. This is deep. This is very, very, very deep. So what informed the title, Trouble in Diepsloot?
So the title of this book, or actually the book as a whole, is a cry to help. I believe that if this book gets into the hand of someone in authority or someone who is a government official, they can be able to identify most of the things that the Diepsloot people need, and they can be able to help. So I believe that in Diepsloot we are an abundant township, because in most of the things the government doesn't get involved. Our people need jobs. So I remember there was this year, I think it was 2019, where we had lots and lots of crimes happening in Diepsloot. So the Minister of Police came and promised that there'll be more police officers, there'll be more police vans patrolling in the streets for people's safety. Till today, we do not see that. Yes. Yeah. So I believe that we are abundant, and the words trouble in Diepsloot, it is actually a cry for help, to say, come and help, there's trouble in Diepsloot.
Okay. Now, and then the road to publishing is usually the hardest. I remember I once pitched my own proposal. It was rejected. I saved that email. That rejection email is sitting somewhere in my inbox because I want to use it one day when I finally publish. I've done many publications academically, but when I tried my hand at publishing, creatively, I got rejected. And I thought that was a beautiful manuscript, but I got rejected. But it happens. Tell us about your experiences. I mean, how did you handle that?
So with my experience, after writing the book and finalizing it, I went to Google and searched the publishing companies. So I called most of them, about 10, and they all rejected me. So I was like, okay.
I shouldn't cry with my one rejection.
Yes. So I was like, okay, then what now? What can I do now? And I know that there's something called self-publishing, but where do I go? What's the next step? Because here's the book, I am done. What can I do next? Then I went to a guy called Tsapora Mudisa. I know that he's also a writer, but he publishes his work online. So I went to him for an advice to say, Tsapo, what can I do? I am done. Like, I was writing this book, I'm done with it, and I want it published. I want it in hard copy so that people can be able to buy it and read. So Tsapo was like, okay, let me help you, or let me show you what to be done, and he was with me every step of the way. So after writing this book, we went to Johannesburg at some printing company, and we got the first 50 copies printed of the book, and that was it. And we also made a word out there. We announced that the book Trouble in Diepsloot is out.
Okay, well, that assuages my, my chest pains, to know that I'm out here crying because I had one rejection, and you had to go through 10, to actually produce this. So yeah, it's a bit of therapy. So now, this entire book is a product of yours in the circumstances that you found yourself in.
Yes.
What has kept you going? What has kept you holding on to your dream? What has kept you positive in your thinking? And what has kept you going, doing action after thinking about things? What has kept you there as a young person when all is gloomy?
Yeah, so I think the thought of wanting to be a role model to many young kids in Diepsloot, and also for the fact that I want to get out of Diepsloot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what kept me going. I realized that I can't get out of Diepsloot and stay at a fancy place if I do not push myself, if I do not wake up every morning with hope and dreams for the future. So I want to be a role model to the young girls in Diepsloot, the young girls and boys, to show them that coming from Diepsloot should not hold you back. Coming from Diepsloot does not mean that this is where your future ends. Because I know in Diepsloot there are so many bad role models. So the young kids are actually entertained by wrong things. They look up to people for wrong things. They look up to people who do wrong things. So I want to be that one person who stands out and show them actually that this is what should come out of Diepsloot. This is what is expected of you as young people from Diepsloot. I mean, if you grow up to be a person who does the things, the negative things, what is it that will be contributing to the community? So, but then if you grow up looking for a positive role model, you can also become a positive role model to the other kids in Diepsloot, and you can also work on changing the community.
Nice. I think the message is clear. You want to improve your life, and you purpose that this is what I want, and you work towards it.
Yes.
And you believed that as you write, as you tell your stories, as you improve yourself, others will learn from that. Others' lives will be touched and changed by how your life has been presented. And so far, I believe you've been doing a very, very good job.
Thank you.
Despite what you're facing there. Now, in our talks as we're coming here, you also mentioned something about going into film, the film industry.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I am an artist, and I believe that it runs in my veins.
Yeah.
So as an artist, I want to go to a film school. I look up to Tyler Perry. So everything that Tyler Perry is, I want to be. I want to write my own things, and I want the things that I write to be filmed one day. Even now, I want this Trouble in Diepsloot. I want to write a script. I want a good script to come out of Trouble in Diepsloot and approach some companies and people that can help me to making this into a film. And on this film, I'll make sure that I get young people from Diepsloot, because I know that there's talent there. As many young people from Diepsloot as I can to be part of the project. Yes. So I want to be a filmmaker, an actress, a producer, direct everything in the film. I want to be.
I love those ambitions. I really love that.
Thank
fact
you.
that you know what you're going for, and you're clear about it, and you're resolute and you're determined. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. I assure you things will work out eventually. If anyone wanted this book, where do they get it?
Well, the book isn't yet in the bookshops. I'm working on that. But if you want it now, you can contact me on 0606 323 176. You can WhatsApp or call me or send me an SMS. I'll get back to you. Or you can send me an inbox on Facebook. On my personal account, it's Itumeleng Lebese, or you can send me an inbox on my page. It's Itumeleng Lebese. You can follow me on Instagram, Itumeleng_Lebese, and on Twitter, Itumeleng_Lebese.
Okay, lovely. What message do you have for young Africans, especially the girl child?
So for young Africans, especially the girl child, I would like to say to you, the world is yours. And do not give up on your dreams. Do not look up to people who do bad things. Look up to positive role models, and also work on becoming a role model yourself to other people. So do not give up on your dreams. If you do have some big ambitions or big things to achieve, nothing is actually too big to achieve. You can achieve them. So, and also do not forget where you come from when you make it out there. That's the message I have for you.
There you have it, folks. Author, future actress, poet, artist, Itumeleng Lebese was talking to us about her book, Trouble in Diepsloot. You've heard the story, very, very moving. A young African child started writing this book at the age of 15, published in 2019 when she was 17. This is great. Africa is rising indeed. Africa is writing about itself, for itself. Africa is writing about African experiences by Africans for Africans. Like we always say, Maibui Africa, it is rising again. Africa is reclaiming its space. I'd like to urge you to continue to support the channel, to continue to share this within your spaces, your communities, your community of researchers, wherever it is that you find yourself. Copy the link, paste it in your Facebook, in your Twitter feed, talk about it with your friends, show your friends this channel, like and subscribe to the channel. It is the only way we can grow this. It's the only way we can make Africa great again. Until next time, Professor Angelo Tibe signing out and saying cheers.